Hello, ladies and gents. Romie Reviews here. If Loving You Is Wrong is back. It is back for a fourth season. It's been a long time coming. If you haven't been to my channel for almost like 2 years now, I have another channel, Romie Whispers ASMR. I do a minimum of a video a week, and there's a new video up today, and I hope you go and click the links to check it out. Oh boy. This is crazy. This is crazy. So now we get to If Loving You Is Wrong. And it continues on where it left off. It continues on with Kelly. She hung herself. I don't know how she got the shoestring. Lucian and this other black police officer get her down, and they do chest compressions to try and start her breathing, and they even had to get the defibrillator. And at the time, we're not seeing Kelly come back alive. So we're thinking, oh no, is she really dead? And I know she was on Black Lightning for a bit, but I feel like she has another show as well. So it's possible that she may not be on this show because she's on a new show, or maybe she knew, or maybe she gave me flashbacks. Yes, I did just jump ahead and give you a big spoiler. That may be true. Now we see that the woodshed is still on fire, and Randall and Alex are trying to get out of there. Marcie started the fire. I'm not mad at that. I said they both can go. Randall is trying to find something to break the wood to get it out of there. Marcie made sure to barge it in there because she hates Alex and she hates Randall. Alex doesn't listen and she breaks the window. Randall told her not to do that because it would let the fire in, but she doesn't listen. And there's this new guy, Bennett. I remember his name because the whole phrase, my name Bennett, Bennett. Anyway, Bennett and his wife. Bennett's a firefighter, and apparently Bennett is a do-gooder. He is a do-gooder through and through. His wife doesn't like it because in their last neighborhood, they got caught up in the neighborhood squabble. And so there was, I guess, a mentally ill person at that neighborhood as well, which caused them to have to move for their mental sanity. And we're at this point where we see that there's clearly Marcie's outside. She's acting a fool. She's jumping. She's like, oh! Because remember, Marcie lost the baby. She lost the baby, so she blames Randall, as she should. And she wanted to get revenge. That's what triggered all of this. Brad is at the hospital. He's trying to figure out where's Marcie. He's trying to figure out where's Alex. It's just too much. It's too much. So he's talking to their doctor. Because remember, Blonde Barbie that's a huge conflict of interest if I've ever seen one in my life. A huge conflict of interest. Anyway, she is talking to him, and he is saying how much he doesn't trust her, how much he doesn't like her, and she's trying to go and say how he understands that he feels a certain way towards Alex, but he's like, Alex is the love of your life, Alex is your wife, and just cut her some slack almost. And I was over it. So now Marcie decides to go over to the neighbors. Remember, she helped sell the house, and she sold the house to the other lawyer guy. I guess this is a different couple. Anywho, they come in, and she needs a phone. So the wife reluctantly gives up her phone. And she was over it the entire time. He notices smoke. And she said, oh no, don't worry about it. I think it's just a barbecue. It's just a barbecue. He's like, no, that's a lot of smoke. So then she was trying to say, no, don't go back there. And so he's a firefighter, so he rushes in, and he's trying to go and open up the shed, and he rushes in to save them. His wife is trying to turn on the hose, and Marcie was just kind of silently cackling. Did you see how when he saved Alex first, or found Alex first, and he was like, is there anyone else in there? Alex is white, so it was easier to see her in there. And Alex was like, no, there's no one else sitting there. I said, Alex, you ain't ish. I knew it. And I'm not mad because it's Randall, but you ain't ish. So then the guy, he does go back in there and he gets Randall, and Marcie was over it. Marcie actually kicked Randall. And the wife is looking at this like, huh? What's going on here? But we're back at the police station. They don't know if Kelly's alive for now. Steven is there. Steven is talking to Lucian. And in comes Eddie. And Eddie is having a field day. Eddie, apparently, it sounds like Steven was overseas. It sounds like Steven was in Japan or something. Because I heard a comment that Eddie said. Now, Lucian, was about to fight Eddie, and I was ready for it. And Lucian wanted to see if Eddie was the one who set up, unfortunately, homegirl up. And Eddie, he showed one of his shoes where the lace was tied. So I guess, okay, he didn't do it. I guess. I guess. Poor Kelly. Poor Kelly. But Eddie loves this. He was like, I guess she just couldn't handle it. The crazy got to her. And it's so irritating because in comes Marcie. Marcie wants to know what's going on with her friend. How am I remembering these names? How? Thank you, God. Anyway, Marcie comes and she's like, what happened to Kelly? Is she okay? Is she okay? Well, no, she's not okay. But we're trying to figure it out. And so she's over it. She's over it because Eddie won't leave her alone. And every time Eddie sees a nice interaction between her and Steven, it causes him pain. It causes him agita, which causes him to react in a very vile Eddie-like way. So she goes, throws something at Eddie. She was like, he said, don't touch her. And he keeps throwing digs at Marcie, throwing digs at Steven, throwing digs at Kelly. So now Lucian has to go and call Natalie and tell Natalie that, because remember, Natalie was like, I think she's going to harm herself. Natalie was right. So she's in pain. She is in pain. She's like, is she okay though? I don't know. They're not allowing me to see her right now. So he's saying, breathe through it. Breathe through it and send me a picture of Justice. Because I was thinking maybe he was going to go and show Kelly, this is your reason to live. This is your reason to live. Brad is still at the hospital waiting foolishly, and the doctor gives him this card saying you need to see a therapist because you've been through a lot. And even though I'm the doctor of the other two women, I want to help you too because I've known you for a while. So I want you to have peace. She's your wife. You're still going to have to deal with her on a daily basis. Talk to the therapist. And he takes the card this time. But Eddie comes right around the corner saying, hey, bro. So what's good, bro? What's good? What's going on? What you doing? Hey, how you living? How you been? What? Hey. I'm thinking, Eddie, stop it. Brad is confused because when he was talking to the doctor and now he's talking to Eddie, the test came back inconclusive. As in, we don't know how, but we're not sure who the baby daddy is. It's so confusing. So confusing. I don't know how Alex pulled it off. Sometimes that does happen and they just need to retake it. It does happen every once in a while. Like a false positive or false negative or just inconclusive results. Whew. So now Eddie is saying that, let me handle it. Let me handle it. Let me handle them. I have your back. You're a father. You can take care of the kids. It's my job. Let me go and do what I need to do. At one point, Brad was like, I don't care. Do whatever you want. But then Brad caught himself and realized this is Eddie we're talking about. So Eddie hearing do whatever you want will mean that Eddie will try to kill Alex. He's not trying to do that right now. He's not actually trying to have any type of interaction with Eddie right now. He just wants to go home. So Eddie is like, whatever. And as he's leaving, he does notice someone in a room. And it's Larry applying makeup to hide the bruises that Eddie gave him. So Eddie's doing his thing like, oh yes girl, you better do that thing. You just have your makeup done and ready for the day. You carry that around so that you can always look your best. And he was like, well, I have to look fabulous. I have to look fabulous. Anyway, okay. Their interaction was so weird because you have Eddie talking about you went and you embarrassed me and the things that you did, I wanted to pay you back tenfold. So that's why I did all those things to you. Even though I understand that, part of me felt like, Eddie, let's have a conversation because people have been saying this for a while. And I've been saying, I hope, because they can do whatever they want with the show. I was saying, I hope they don't give Eddie some bisexual or bi-curious storyline in the future, because that's what it feels like they're trying to do. Or it feels like maybe something happened to Eddie when he was younger and it triggered him with being like over masculine, because it could have been when he went to war. It could have been, who knows? Who knows? But there is something seriously off with him, and he hasn't been the same, like Marcie said, since he came back from serving. Because remember, he went to war. They show the flashbacks of him beating up Larry and doing the sadistic stuff to Larry. Killing him choking him, beating him up within an inch of his life. And Larry was saying how, I know that turned you on. I know that excited you at the very least, at the bare minimum. And maybe you need to figure out why that's the case. I'm thinking, Larry, you don't want to get hurt any more than you already have in these streets. I would advise you to simmer down. Simmer down. But Larry said, you know what? I'm not going to press charges. I'm just going to go to work. Thankfully, they gave me the day off, so now I'm back. I need to go and look presentable. But where, because Eddie even talks about, look, if you get any bright ideas, I may just need to visit your wife. And he was like, look, you're not going to do that, because if you're visiting my wife, you're visiting me. Essentially, like I said, it was weird, because even when Larry left to go to work, Eddie kind of had that weird look like he wasn't necessarily wrong with what he said, but I can't show that to anyone. Oh gosh, they're going to do it. They're going to give him that type of storyline eventually. They are. I see it. They are. Because again, I don't think that he's gay, but it doesn't mean that there isn't something there. And we don't know why that something is there. The fire trucks came, so Natalie was alarmed. I'm guessing since this is during the day, that we can say that maybe the kids aren't home at this time. Maybe they're at school. Maybe. Because kids should have ran out of the house by now. She goes behind Randall's house and sees that the shed was burnt up and very confused as to what happened. Alex isn't really saying too much. She's fine. She has some smoke inhalation, but she doesn't want to go to the doctor. She was thinking about Brad, because Brad's going to find out about this. You heard it from me. While that is happening, Marcie was just saying now, well, these two were in the shed together again. And she was like, sidebar, that's her ex-husband, and that's the whore that he cheated on her with. And they did the same thing before, so they did this again. And now, for whatever reason, the shed was on fire. Whoopsie! I wasn't mad at Marcie. I wasn't mad. I know it's wrong. I know it's wrong. But this is for TV purposes. This is for TV purposes. And for TV purposes, this was fantastic. Get yours, Marcie. Get yours. So Bennett went back to his house because his wife was like, let's go. Randall was barking at him almost like, don't touch her. You don't need to talk to her. Don't touch her. I said, you're not her man. And even if you were, that's not how you talk to someone. She's a person. Even though I don't like her, she's still a person. Okay. While this is occurring, we see that Randall goes in the house and he calls Larry. And he calls Larry on both of his numbers, his professional number and his personal number, saying that you better call me back, and how dare you go and trick me into signing the divorce papers. I'm going to get you. I said, oh, okay. All right. I'm glad that Natalie left with Marcie. I actually appreciate that, because Natalie caped for Alex so long and left Marcie in the dust. Now she's finally being a good friend to Marcie. Marcie admitted it. Yeah, she set it on fire because she came home and she saw them back in the shed. It triggered her because she lost the baby. She miscarried again. And all the antics that Randall was doing, he got what he wanted. And she's hurt. She's hurt. She felt triggered. So she triggered the fire. And I am so glad that Natalie didn't say anything. She said, look, you need to leave. You need to go home. You need to get some help. Brad comes through. And so then Brad was like, oh, I've been looking for you. Where are you? Is everything okay? And then I was like, wait a minute. Is there a fire? Yeah, there was a fire, and Randall and Alex were caught up in it. They're fine. But it's like, what happened? Well, they were in the shed together again. Brad was pissed. So Brad said, hey, why don't you stay away from me? I don't want to see you. I don't want to see you. Stay away from me. You're the ops. I need for you to stay away. Don't talk to me, Alex. And I said, yes. The show came back and it's finally making sense. This is all we wanted. Because Brad before was talking to the doctor and saying he was open to raising the child and still being with Alex. But now that it seems like she could have been sleeping with anyone, he's over it. Natalie goes back home. And Natalie calls to ask, how's Kelly? Lucian does not know. He also lets Lucian know that a fire was started. She doesn't know who did it, but they locked Randall and Alex in the shed. So he's like, oh, we need to, this has to stop. I said, yes, it sure does. Now Lucian is trying to find something. I don't know what he was trying to find. I thought maybe Eddie stole it. So when Eddie came in with a bottle, I'm thinking, that's for celebration. What are we celebrating? So Eddie, I think for a moment he thought maybe Eddie did the whole Alex and Randall thing. But he stopped thinking that because Eddie went and said, well, all que sera sera. Kelly's dead. I said, what? He said, Kelly's dead. I said, who? Kelly's dead. Kelly? Kelly's dead? How? Really? Because we know... Okay, this show does a really weird job of killing off people. You never really feel like they're killed off. You feel like they're just in hiding. But they're dead, and then they just disappear. That's the one thing I don't like about this show. They just disappear. I feel like maybe for Kelly, they may do some flashbacks to bring her back if she's really dead. But they're saying she's dead. She's probably on another show. Dang. So now Natalie's going to have to take care of Justice too? Anyway, please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, today's Wednesday, so a new Romie ASMR video up on Romie Whispers ASMR. Thank you. Come back tomorrow.